A probable new association on an important mission could be the way to humankind becoming amazing at spaceflight: SpaceX and Apple. You might be wondering what the tech organization in the world has in common with the greatest space organization in the world. The answer is easy. It is the same common thing that all companies in the world believe is the future: technology. SpaceX is set to fly a 4-crew, all-regular citizen team into space on a 3-day mission called Inspiration 4, and Apple equipment will be significant in the examination concentrates on occurring during the mission. SpaceX affirmed that the items to be utilized incorporate the Apple Watch Series 6, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPad Mini 4. The well-being-centered exploration will be the first of its sort and means to build humankind's information on the effect of room trips on the human body. Once in orbit, the team will play out an assortment of painstakingly chosen research probes on human well-being and execution, which will have expected applications for human well-being on the planet and during future spaceflights. In addition, SpaceX, the Translational Examination Establishment for Space Wellbeing, or TRISH, at Baylor School of Medication, and specialists at Weill Cornell Medication will gather ecological and biomedical information and natural examples from Inspiration 4 Woodland Group individuals during and after this stupendous spaceflight. So, how would they anticipate gathering this information? That is the place where Apple comes in. As indicated by Jimmy Wu, a senior biomedical designer at TRISH and teacher for the Middle for Space Medication at Baylor School, the activities on Inspiration 4 are pretty Apple-weighty. He likewise said that it's incredible since the item justifies itself with real evidence. SpaceX claims that the Apple Watch will accumulate research-grade ECG activity, development, rest, pulse, and cadence, blood oxygen immersion, lodge clamor, and light power during the mission. Readings are likewise expected to be gathered from the SpaceX team Dragon vehicle utilized. The team individuals will likewise go through mental assessments with the discernment application on iPad scaled down, a product utilized by NASA-supported examination studies. So, shouldn't something be said about the iPhones? Apple's iPhone 12 Pro is combined with the Butterfly iQ ultrasound gadget to check the team's inward organs. The assessment will assist with deciding if individuals with no clinical preparation or experience can utilize Butterfly iQ Plus, its artificial brain power direction, which is introduced through a Going With application to gain clinical-grade pictures without help starting from the earliest stage. Different tests, which will investigate in a matter of seconds, incorporate the assortment and assessment of drops of blood utilizing an upward stream immunoassay, VFI gadget, equilibrium and insight assessments, and biomedical example assortments. As may be obvious, the Inspiration 4 mission isn't a spacious retreat for iPhone items. A long way from it. Inspiration 4s could be what makes our forthcoming excursion to D-Faces conceivable. So, how about we investigate a portion of the information that Apple's gadgets will gather and why we want that information in any case? First up is Neurocognitive Execution. Going to space is an upsetting encounter for the human body, yet it's similarly unpleasant on the psyche. Expanded pressure can influence team conduct and execution. Dr. Matthias Basner and his group at the University of Pennsylvania have fostered a battery of mental tests for space travelers, which they'll use to evaluate Inspiration 4's team execution on an expansive scope of mental areas. Scientists will then, at that point, dissect the mental test results close by well-being vitals gathered from an Apple Watch and natural information gathered from the team Mythical Serpent. The mental information will comprehend how standard people in everybody will act in space travel. The outcomes will be pertinent, particularly since business space travel is becoming increasingly more famous constantly. During space flights, organic liquids move diversely inside the human body, and space explorers are more powerless to specific ailments. Clinical imaging can be utilized to screen and track these changes. Ultrasound is NASA's favorite clinical imaging strategy for following the strength of space explorers on the worldwide space station concerning future profound space investigation missions to Mars. As we referenced previously, the group on the Inspiration 4 will utilize Apple iPhone 12s fitted with a Butterfly iQ Plus ultrasound gadget to concentrate on contrasts in design and smooth motion in the neck veins, eyes, the gallbladder, and the urinary bladder. The review will likewise be assessing how Butterfly IQ Plus's easy-to-understand point of interaction and simulated intelligence innovation will empower negligibly prepared travelers to gain top-notch ultrasound pictures, which are thought of as difficult to get and are generally gathered by ultrasound professionals. Assuming that the examination test is fruitful and Butterfly IQ Plus gets approved, it could become a significant symptomatic instrument for clinical frameworks on future profound space missions. Simply remember to welcome your iPhone with you on your future excursion to the moon. You could require it for a health-related crisis. Dr. Mark Shellhammer from Johns Hopkins College Institute of Medication has an exploration project on Inspiration 4. Exploring retransformation to gravity after spaceflight or tactile engine testing to get specialized with it in zero gravity. Space travelers lose their feeling of all over. This neurovestibular concern could cause movement infection, queasiness, and other perplexing impacts. Dr. Shellhammer will concentrate on how travelers sense all over Earth versus in space and utilize that data to control eye position and stance. The outcomes could permit a forecast of who will get movement ailment in spaceflight and empower the going to prudent lengths. The tactile engine tests will be effortlessly gotten to through the iPad given to each team part. If Dr. Shellhammer's endeavors are fruitful, they could help forestall or limit the impacts of movement infection and bewilderment, accordingly, hugely further developing the spaceflight experience. SpaceX will work with specialists at Weill Cornell Medication to play out a longitudinal multi-omic examination of the team, including genome, epigenome, and microbiome. These examples and information will be added to the arranged biobank that will hold cryogenically frozen examples and information from the Inspiration 4 mission. Agents at Weill Cornell Medication have worked intimately with SpaceX's clinical group on the Inspiration 4 example assortment. They expect to reproduce large numbers of the conventions and investigations spearheaded in the NASA Twin Review and the biomolecular sequencer missions. The arranged biobank will hold tests of the human, microbial, and natural examples gathered previously, during, and after missions, which will empower long-haul examination and well-being checking for space travelers. Since you know why SpaceX needs an iPhone and an iPad for a mission in space, we should go more than a couple of general mission insights concerning Inspiration 4 that you could have missed. The mission's principal objective is to bring issues to light and assets for Holy Person Jude Kids Emergency Clinic, which is devoted to treating the hardest youth tumors and pediatric sicknesses that close by the 4 regular folks making their first outings to space, was the motivation behind the mission's name, Inspiration 4. Inspiration 4 will leave Earth from NASA's Kennedy Space Focuses platform 39A, which was a similar send-off site for the notable Apollo and space transport missions. Inspiration 4 will then, at that point, traverse the low Earth circle for 3 days before getting back to Earth. The 3-day mission, scheduled for a send-off on September 15th, will target around a 357-mile circle. So, what might be said about the group? Who are these 4 bold people on their lady trip away from the Earth? The SpaceX team Dragonflight was sanctioned by the tycoon Jared Isaacman. You might be asking yourself who this Jared fellow is and for what good reason you've never known about him until a few seconds ago. Jared Isaacman, like Elon Musk, is, to put it just, a phenom. Jared is a secondary school dropout who established his first organization Shift for installments from his parents' cellar when he was a youngster. His organization, Shift for Payment, is a PayPal-type activity that currently processes north of $200 billion every year for U.S. eateries and lodgings. Haley's Arms Stockpile will join Inspiration 4 officer and advocate Jared Isaacman. A holy person, Jude Doctor's partner, and bone disease survivor, Haley was a patient at St. June's herself before continuing to work there. One more individual from the team is Chris Simbrowski, who served in the U.S. Flying Corps and presently works in the airplane business. What's more, to wrap things up is Dr. Sean's delegate, a simple space explorer and geoscientist. As Inspiration 4 gets ready for takeoff, another narrative series on the mission is now out in the new Netflix docuseries commencement, Inspiration 4 Mission to Space. Watchers can follow the 4-person team of the Inspiration 4 mission as they get ready to send off into space progressively. The 4-episode series, co-created by Time Studios, have followed the team through their excursion. They will show their continuous change from normal individuals into out-and-out space travelers as they get ready to send off on September 15th. Hopefully, this group can finish their investigation effectively for the children at St. Jude's, for SpaceX, and every one of the gatherings in question to improve humanity. We should likewise trust that they make sure to charge their gadgets, since we as a whole know how much it sucks to get that low battery notice. Apple will turn into the new Lord of Room Tech. When do you figure SpaceX will send normal individuals to space regularly? Tell us, and the sky is the limit from there down in the remarks segment beneath. Thank you so much for watching this video. When do you figure SpaceX will send normal individuals to space regularly? Tell us, and the sky is the limit from there down in the remarks segment beneath. Sound off in the comments below. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell as well. That way, you never miss out on the next time that we post a new video. As always, we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!